Well, yeah, because to go along with this craziness, at one point, the Zoom call in trial gets hacked.
Yeah.
And it was some kid that sounds like he's from some foreign country starts screaming, "Free thug, mistrial."
Yeah.
To open court.
So let's talk about that because in a little more detail, because the security issues, like the computer security issues and the courtroom security issues, have been like a massive part of this trial. Some months ago, like after the Percocet incident with Young Thug, at one point they shook down Lil Rod because he smelled like marijuana after they came in after a break, and he's hauled into the back rooms and he's strip searched screaming, and they find marijuana sewn into his underwear that he had smoked in a bathroom. The next day, they start searching everybody who goes into the courtroom, and like one of the attorneys has his anxiety medicine in like one of those 7-day things.
Right.
Well, it's a drug not in an approved container. By the way, that's not an arrestable offense.
Right, but he still gets arrested.
But he gets arrested.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then a little while later, like not Young Thug, but Christian Eppinger's attorney is now looking at a bar case, and I think he was charged with allowing his client access to the internet, like because Eppinger was using the guy's tablet to get onto Instagram, and looking at stuff that apparently he wasn't supposed to be. So he's getting lit up. And then Nicole Fegan gets arrested for a gang charge, even though she is a gang criminal defense attorney. And she's not Better Call Saul. Like, that's Drew Finling.
Yeah.
These are like the kind of security issues that they've been dealing with. The physical security issues are one thing, but that Zoom connection's been hacked at least 3 times.
Damn.
Since the start of this trial. About a month, like in January, all of the Fulton County computers, the court computers, the county's computers, the tax computers, all of the government computers were hacked by a ransomware gang called Lockbit. They're based out of, I guess it's Ukraine, but they're basically Eastern European. They got lucky. Like somebody clicked on the wrong thing or something. They've owned every file in the Fulton County court system for months, including, I am told, the juror list for the YSL case.
Oh, so they could release the list of jurors?
Yeah.
Which would be a mistrial at that point?
I think you'd almost have to.
Wow, you'd have to start all over again.
All over again.
Sheesh.
And that's not even the worst of it. Like, they were claiming that they'd had the Trump stuff. I don't actually believe they did, because I'm pretty sure the FBI sequestered all of the Justice Department sequestered all of the Trump stuff years ago. There was a concern that the Fulton County elections stuff would get hacked, but they've kept all of that offline. That's safe because the state does not trust Fulton County. They were supposed to release it 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then it disappeared, the references. And then the FBI, like 2 days later, said that they had made arrests. And then a week later, one of the hackers says, no, I'm still here. Like, I still got the stuff. Give me Bitcoins or I'm going to put it out. That was 3 days ago.
How much are they asking for?
I don't know.
Probably a lot, though.
Probably a lot. I would say multiple millions of dollars.
Millions?
Millions.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, look at what's at stake. Fulton County is like the center of the universe in some ways. You have the Trump trial. You have this YSL case. But you've also got, like, if they got to the election stuff, like Georgia, swing state, Fulton County, Trump's on trial because he was saying that there were...
Yeah.
Like, so the FBI went nuts trying to get a hold of him. I don't know whether or not the hackers actually got the nuts or not. Like, if he's got the nut flesh, he should have fucking played it by now. I think he's just fucking with us. He wants to make it look like they paid the ransom. The Fulton County leaders are swearing on a stack of Bibles, we haven't paid anybody anything. but the computers are still jacked up. I can't get files unless I'm physically present in court, and even then it's a pain in the ass.
Well, we're now in March of 2024. How much longer do you think this trial is going to go for?
I would be very surprised if it was done by the end of the year.
Wow. So another 9 months.
Minimum.
10 months, actually.
I think it goes, yeah, could be another year.
Based on everything that you've seen, and, like we talked about during this interview, your opinion starts to shift based on the new information that you consume on a monthly basis. How do you think this trial will end for Young Thug?
I think let's start with this. Let's assume there's no mistrial.
Okay.
I think there's a 1 in 4 chance that we actually get a mistrial, but let's say that there's no mistrial.
Mm-hmm.
There is some evidence that I think it just compels a conviction. When he was arrested, there was a switch and there was a bunch of drugs and it's in his house, and I don't think he gets to pawn that off. I think he goes to jail for that no matter what.
Can someone in the house take those charges?
I don't think so.
It just doesn't work that way.
I just don't think it's going to work that way.
Because it's his house.
Yeah. So the rest of it is an open question. The question is whether or not the jurors believe Young Thug knew that he was facilitating a murder when he rented the car.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is arguing he rents cars all the time. He doesn't know what they're going to be used for. And why the hell would you rent a car? Rent a car with a record, like, for a hit, and then just having sort of a gangster, reality moment, like you steal a car if you're going to kill someone.
Right.
But there it is.
I think it's because this is not a civil case. A civil case means 51%. Do you think that you're 51% sure that he did it? Then he's guilty. 49%, no, he didn't do it, not guilty. But a criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt, which is what, 90%, something like that. I'm 90% sure he did it. And, he's got the best lawyers in Georgia.
You have to believe that something crazy is going on for it not to have been what the prosecution is saying.
Yeah.
Like that it is far more unusual that he didn't do it than he did do it. And that's part of the reason why they're building this long gas case to say, look, he's been doing gangster shit. Like he just hasn't gotten caught, but he's been doing all this gangster shit. And this is just a continuation of this gangster shit.
Right.
In order to wear down that plausibility, that reasonable doubt. And honestly, I think they're probably they're going to wear the jury down. I think it is more likely than not that he is convicted. I don't think it's a given.
Yeah.
The broader question is this gang question. What does it mean to be a street gang? Is this an illegal street gang? The gang statute has sort of 3 pegs to it. Is this an illegal street gang? Is this a gang that is about doing crime? Is this person a member of that gang? Did they do a crime that counts? That's what they've got to prove. And the crime that they're saying counts is, well, you rented that car.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, he's got great lawyers. There's always a chance for a mistrial. Then there's always a chance of an appeal. He's already served a lot of time already sitting in jail. So there's that. Cases fall apart at the last minute and, plea deals pop up out of nowhere that otherwise were not there. So we'll see what happens.
I think they're playing for the appeal, truth be told. I think that they're realizing that there are reversible errors that are happening, or what looks like them.
Right.
And that they're going to appeal their way out of this if they can. And hopefully they'll be in that sort of sense wearing the prosecution down. Because if there's an appeal and it gets kicked back, does the district attorney, assuming this is still the district attorney.
Right, she could get voted out.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
And there's a reasonable chance, considering all the
all
the BS that's
other
been around her
stuff.
name, you know, with the romantic relationships and everything else like that.
I still think she's likely to be reelected.
Oh, okay. She is high profile.
She is high profile. Name
I don't know
recognition matters.
who the other DAs are, and you know.
I mean, somebody could take a shot, like, because they could look at this like, well, look, we still need to prosecute Donald Trump. We just don't think you're the person who should do it.
Right.
Give me the ball.
Right.
Like, that's an argument.
Right.
I am looking forward to all of this stuff being out of my life. I'm just going to tell you, like, I started looking at this stuff in what, 2021?
Yeah.
2022? It is March of 2024. I actually have other things going on in my life. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, so we did a podcast. Like, I have two partners with a podcast, Christina Lee and Tommy Andres. The podcast is King Slime. That podcast is up for an Ambie.
Oh.
Like, for Best Documentary Podcast. It is some of the best work I've done in my life.
Congrats.
On this. I am not a hip-hop journalist, but on this.
Well, you are now.
like
hate it or love it, that's where you are.
I took a real job. Like this year, I report on issues of democracy for The Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardian, a very large British publication, has a large U.S. presence.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Because democracy is the thing that's probably the most important. Like, are we going to have one when this is all over? Like, I am focusing my time where I can, but this trial, this never-ending thing, is still going to be is part of my life basically forever, and I don't get to drop it. And I feel like I'm one of these lawyers. It's like, I can't leave. This is going to ruin me. But I have to, like, because people are expecting, to have a better understanding of this. And that trial actually matters. Like, it's changing hip hop, it's changing Atlanta, it's changing justice as a concept, it's exposing a lot of stuff that's screwed up. Like, it's a window into the world.